foliage season, so a very busy time. But we're going to talk a little bit about this one-of-a-kind experience that you can only get in New Hampshire. For people who maybe, I think everybody's heard of the Cog Railway. Everybody has that image of it, that train going up the flank of Mount Washington towards the summit. But give us a little background. What is the Cog Railway?
Well, the Cog Railway is a unique railway, as you said. It does go up Mount Washington, but it was designed by a New Hampshire native, Sylvester Marsh, in the 1800s, because he couldn't get to the top of the mountain by train. And at that point, you either had to go on a flat train or you had to use your feet. And that wasn't, frankly, in my mind, any more fun back then than I think it is right now. But a lot of people disagree. But they use a cog gear, which we used to have in watches, to pull the train up the mountain, because you can't run a train on rails because it would just slide back down. So it's a railroad that has a special rack and pinion situation. It goes up the mountain, and because it's so steep, we have one small little engine that could pushing one car with 70 people. So that's the way the situation is. There aren't a lot of cars, one car per locomotive.
Right. Now there are other cog railways in the world, especially I believe in the Alps and places where you have to get trains up steep mountains. But this technology basically originated on Mount Washington because you guys were the first.
Absolutely,
right.
yeah. Sylvester Marsh was an inventor who was born in New Hampshire, came back here to retire, got snowed in on Mount Washington, and said, when he was hiking, he said, there's got to be a way to do this. So he sat down, his fertile brain came up with this idea. So New Hampshire, once again, first in the world.
And I remember a story, I forget who he was looking to get permits from the state or something like that, and they said, well, we'll give you a permit to build to the moon, because you probably have as good a chance at doing that if you can get a train up Mount Washington.
That is the story. I haven't seen it in print, but the story goes. And I think back then, think about it. Would you put a train up a mountain, especially Mount Washington? So I could see somebody saying that.
Yeah, Mount Washington is not the most forgiving of mountains, known for the world's worst weather, among other things.
Yeah.
So you were the first, and now you are the only in the eastern United States.
Absolutely. There were a lot of cog railways for tourist purposes initially all over the United States and in New England. But for one reason or another, they became unpopular, hard to maintain, and now we are the only one east of the Rockies. So if your guests are anywhere in New England, good weather or not, they really, especially if they're coming from abroad, and so many people come to New England during foliage, they need to do the Cog Railway. I'm not at all prejudiced, but I really think they should do it.
Absolutely. There are many attractions that you can only do in the state of New Hampshire, and then there are attractions like this, which are one of a kind in the entire eastern U.S. So you've got to make sure you do it while you're here, because you won't get another opportunity.
Absolutely.
And you attract a lot of different types of visitors too. You have obviously the leaf peepers, people who are coming here for foliage and all the other reasons why we come to New Hampshire, but you attract train aficionados too, because you're such a rare experience.
Absolutely. People who, I mean, it's like somebody who loves basketball or somebody loves soccer. They go all over the world for it. But this train, being the first in the world, people do come from all over. So we're excited. And the kid who loves the Thomas the train, I don't have a kid anymore, so I can't tell you. And couples and guys and families. Great tourist attraction, great train buff thing, great way to get into the outdoors in a pristine situation where you don't have to take your car or your feet. I just think it's great.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the technology and the engines. We were talking off air about the staff that you have there, because to get people, you actually construct engines on site. You obviously have to maintain them, and because this is such a rare thing, there probably isn't a wealth of applicants graduating straight out of college with a degree in cog rail car maintenance. So where do you get your staff from?
I think we get them. Actually, we have young people who come in and are very mechanically oriented, and they want to do it, and so they're taught. We have people who are retired or semi-retired who have always wanted to play with big trains, and so they've come. But one generation teaches the next, because you cannot go out and find somebody who can build or maintain a cog railway unless you go to Switzerland or Pikes Peak or something. So we train our own people to our own specs, to our own trains, which are unique in the world.
And so this really is almost like a family operation. I know it's it's family owned, but the people who work there and are maintaining this, this is their railroad. This is their attraction. So it must kind of create a real sense of pride when they're showing it off to visitors.
It's very, very true. We are very important and a large attraction, let's say, in New Hampshire, but we're very, very small in a personal way. Everyone knows everybody else. They come back year after year, and they know that they're the only people in the world who can do this particular thing. So there is a camaraderie, kind of a frat mentality with the guys coming back each year. We had a Cog reunion from people who were riding the Cog in the 1970s a couple of weeks ago, and they're all switching stories and seeing how things are done. They love the new biodiesels. They love the fact that we're still running steam. So it is a small, close-knit family.
All right. Well, let's talk about the experience. People want to do this now. How should they do it? I know you guys have been very popular, so the best thing to do is probably, or maybe even necessary, you have to book in advance.
It's always a good idea. Thecog.com, you can book right online, or you can call us at 278-5404, and you can get your tickets that way. We are getting busier, even on a day like today, because it is a dramatic day, and a lot of people want to go to Mount Washington when the weather is dramatic. So pick up the phone, get your ticket. We're about an hour straight through from North Conway Village. Plan to be there early so that you can look at the museum and everything.
Yep.
But plan ahead. You're absolutely right. It's very, very popular, and you don't want to be disappointed when you come up to do it. But yes, just that simple.
It's probably like flying on a plane. It's not going to wait. So you want to get there early, make sure you're settled, you've got your tickets straightened out, and you're boarded. So when that that steam engine
that's right, you're doing
whistle,
the thing.
you're going up the mountain and not watching it from the base.
Yeah. Well, we run trains everywhere from 8:15 in the morning this time of year. Our last train departs at 4:30, and that's a $10 off train ticket. I need to pitch that for people who want to do that.
Great value, yep.
Yeah, and the steam train, every day we run steam. 8:15 in the morning is the steam train. If you want that, that's the only train of the day that's steam. So plan ahead.
So a little bit of history there, and then you run the biodiesel engines the rest of the day, which I think is a great thing.
Absolutely. We've found that that's very, very successful. So people have a choice. Biodiesel, we have 5 locomotives now, and we also have the steamer, so you have your choice.
Okay, so preparing for the trip, book in advance, get there early. How should people dress?
Let me just put it this way. The Cog, the summit of Mount Washington is always 20 to 30 or 40 degrees cooler than at the base. So if that doesn't tell you to bring your sweater or jacket, nothing else will.
Okay, and I've experienced that firsthand. I went on a Cog trip, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago now, right about this time of year. Beautiful, peak foliage, sunshine at the base. You just couldn't ask for better conditions. About 3/4 of the way up, the clouds start. Right on the summit of Mount Washington was an absolute blizzard. And most of us were prepared. There were some that weren't. But it was just a stark contrast. It was the most amazing trip, too, because you never know what you're going to get on the home of the world's worst weather. So we experienced it all, which is something they're actually saying that it could change over to snow on the summit tonight.
I would think so.
On Mount Washington, as this cold front comes through. So you never know what you're going to get today or tomorrow.
You don't. Isn't it amazing that you can be down here enjoying whatever you do, whether it's golf or shopping, whatever, and then all of a sudden, just like an hour up the mountain, you're in a complete other world.
Yeah.
You can't find that anyplace else. What an experience, especially this weekend with the foliage and the changing weather. It's perfect.
And even those who are lucky enough to be on the train right now, they may experience an undercast on the summit. It's rainy and foggy down here in the valley, but according to the observatory and from pictures we've seen this morning, they're peeking out of the clouds at the top with sunshine. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. So we mentioned last train of the day value, you get $10 off.
Yes.
What else did we want to hit? You guys actually run late into the season as well. So if you don't get here during peak foliage time, you can book later. Right.
We're open every day through October, and then weekends through November. So we're open a lot of the season. So depending what your travel plans are, what you want to do, when you have time, you can do.
And of course, you guys are part of a new marketing initiative called New Hampshire Grand, which it promotes the North Country, because tourism and the beautiful New Hampshire scenery and activities don't end at the notches, northern New Hampshire is a great place to visit throughout the year.
Well, it really is. And, we're just so close to people down here in North Conway. There's so much to do down in North Conway. They don't always think about going through the Notch. And Crawford Notch, Franconia Notch, glorious and scenic. And when you get to the top of Franconia Notch and Crawford Notch, you've got the glorious Mount Washington Hotel and Mount Washington from the west side, and all sorts of cool stuff, a lot of nature outside things further north. So do all of New Hampshire if you're going to be here.
All right. Did we miss anything? We're going to give away, you brought a prize pack to give away.
I brought two different sets of tickets, and I have 2 questions for everybody to get their Wikipedia and their, get their thumbs going or whatever. 2 sets.
Okay, you're going to have to be fast on Wikipedia if you're going to get this, because we're giving these away live right now. We'll save 1 set for tomorrow, so if you don't win the tickets today, stay tuned tomorrow. We'll give away another set. But right now, we're going to show you a question. The first caller to get through with the correct answer at 603-356-6619 is going to win what?
2 tickets to the Cog Railway that can be used the balance of this year or any time in 2015.
Really?
Because
Great.
Somebody may not have the time now. We want to make sure they...
You're nice.
I really am. Tell all my friends.
The number is 603-356-6619. Answer this question, win 2 tickets to the Cog Railway. I really should have brought my glasses. What was can you read that?
Yes, what was the date of the first trip that the Cog Railway took?
What was the date of the first trip? So we're looking for the exact month, day,
Yeah, if
year.
somebody has that, and you can decide if somebody doesn't get that, up to you.
Okay.
Take just the year.
Let's see if anybody's trying to get through right now. 603-356-6619. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're playing Watch and Win. Do you have an answer to our question?
I do.
Okay.
1896.
1896. Is that the right year? No.
No.
Not the year we're going for, but please try again. And on top of that, we're looking for the month and the day too,
If
right?
possible.
Okay, so we'll take the year if that's all they have.
Yes.
1896. Can we say too high or too low?
It is too high.
So it actually started before 1896.
Yes, it did.
Well, that narrows it down a little bit. We know it wasn't 1750. Good morning, Watch and Win. What's your answer for 2 free tickets to the Cog Railway?
Hey, it's 1874.
No, not 1874. Good guess, but please try again. And we're going with, sometimes we have to preface our game by saying your answer must match our answer, not necessarily the correct one. Since we have the owner of the Cog here, her answer is the correct one. Good morning, Watch and Win. What's your answer?
I'm going to guess 1853.
1853. Higher, lower?
Higher.
Higher than 1853. Good guess, but try again. And these are for 2 tickets to the Cog Railway. Good morning, Watch and Win on White Mountains today. What's your answer?
1869.
You either are very smart or you have got Wikipedia open right in front of you. Who's this? What's your name? Congratulations, you are the winner this morning.
This is Clay.
Clay, congratulations, Clay. And where are you calling from?
Conway.
Clay from Conway. Well, you've got 2 tickets to go up the famous Mount Washington Cog Railway. Stay on the line. We're going to get your information and tell you how to claim your prize.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. Clay from Conway. And remember, if you didn't win these tickets this morning and you're very sad about that, your kids are crying in the background, don't worry, you have another chance tomorrow morning on White Mountains today. So Kathy, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Did we miss anything about the Cog Railway?
No, I think you hit all the points. We've got great stuff at the summit, great things today, so come on up.
All right, you'll see Kathy at the Cog base station today, running around. Make sure you say hi, say you saw her on White Mountains TV. We'll be back with more on White Mountains today.